Be doing anything to get that money, but y'all don't be doing them neat. So, Princess is doing my box braids today, and I'm so excited because they're gonna be neat.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieve neat box braids, and also showing you guys how to avoid your braids from being bulky at the top and skinny at the bottom. Nobody likes those type of braids. Like, that was a mistake I made at the beginning of this video. So with my friend, I had to do her hair twice because the first time I made this really stupid mistake of making the braids bulky at the top and skinny at the bottom. As you guys can see here, it's really neat, but it's just very scanty at the bottom. And honestly, it's because I used the wrong hair the first time. So I ended up using this model formation glance braid. And while I love pre-stretch braiding hair, I just don't think it's great for me to use it for box braids. But let me know what you think down below, you know. I ended up having to use expression braiding hair because it maintained the sizing of the braid from the top to the bottom. So for the sake of this tutorial, I am showing you how I section the braiding hair using pre-stretched hair. But when I actually did my friend's hair over, I had to first stretch the expression hair because it's not pre-stretched, and I had to segment it into the same size and then place the hair on the rack, because you always want to make sure that your braiding hair has the same consistency. Consistency is key when it comes to achieving neat braids. I like to save the first parted braiding hair for my very last braid, just so I have it to measure with any other braiding hair that I'm going to put on my rack. You always want to do that so you are able to keep the sizing consistent and neat. And that's what I did right here on my rack. But here is my friend Stephanie. Her hair is 3C and it's very low dense, so it was very easy to part. And that's my rack for one more glance. And before we start parting, I'm gonna list what I'm actually going to be using for her hair. The first thing I have is my comb. No, my Shine and Jam, not my comb. If you like to use any other type of tamer, you can do that. I like Shine and Jam. And here's my comb. Don't judge me with all the equipments I'm using. They're very odd equipments, but they get the job done. You can get any other parting tool that you're comfortable with. But here's my clip, and I have my scissors and my scrunchie. Parting is going to vary depending on the hair texture you are working with. My friend here has a 3C/4A hair, so her curl pattern is looser than someone with tighter curls. Her hair is also low in density and thickness overall. So because of this, all she did was stretch her curls by putting her hair into small braided sections after her wash process, and she just let her hair air dry before she came in. Being that her hair is also not super thick, I just parted it into two sections before going into the braiding. I understand some people are not comfortable using heat, but heat does not directly cause damage. It is how often you are putting heat into your natural hair. Now, I like to ask clients about their hair and do a little bit of consultation before styling it, because sometimes I just have them come in with their hair pre-stretched, just like my friend did. Other times, if their hair is thicker and they really just don't want heat, I'll still tell them, hey, put your hair in braided sections and just put your blow dryer in low to medium heat and run that over your braids and just let it dry that way. That's just a way to work around someone who really is against using heat. The whole idea behind why hairstylists press for you to come in with your hair blow dried is to eliminate frizz and achieve neat box braids or neat protective styles. I try to work with my clients and their concerns because there are always alternatives on how to do things. Overall, I would advise anyone watching this video to not be super alarmed when it comes to blow drying their hair before a protective style. It's not about the blow drying process. Remember that. It's how often you are putting heat into your natural hair. Also, when it comes to parting still, I like to use my Shine and Jam to separate each section. This will eliminate any flyaways or just to put the hair laid down and to slick the sections down so I'm not pulling hair from one section to the other. So definitely you want to do that whenever you're parting box braids. If you don't use Shine and Jam, like I said, use whatever you're comfortable with. I like Shine and Jam because it doesn't cause buildup in my experience. I also try not to use too much in the client's hair. Sometimes when the client does not blow dry their hair, I find myself using more Shine and Jam. And if you're low porosity, that can cause a little bit of buildup. But when your hair is already blow dried, it's as straight as possible and I don't have to use too much product. So that's another benefit of blow drying your hair. But like I said, you take some and you leave some and you just do whatever works for you. And here I put my parts into little circles before going into braids. If you guys want to learn how I make the circles, definitely comment down below and I'll make a separate video for that. But what I do is I take my braiding hair from the rack and I separate it into 3 even sections. And then I put 2 of the sections together, but I'm going to show you guys how I do that in a second. But see how equal they are? I join 2 sections together and I put the small one over the larger section before braiding the hair. So in this tutorial, I really want you guys to focus on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. When the braiding hair is in my hand, the first thing I do is take some Shine and Jam and slick down any flyaways and separate her hair into 3 equal parts. Now, each braiding hair strand in my hand to my right is going to represent each separated hair on her head. So the left side represents the left side of her hair. The middle with the middle side, like everything's supposed to match. And my hands are close to her scalp. And I move my left hand to the right and my right hand to the middle and the middle part back to the right. So everything is going to be switching into different directions, opposite directions from where they originally are. I'm going to show you guys how I do this again so it's less complicated, but please focus on what exactly I'm doing. Focus on my hand movements. See how let me try to slow this down for you guys. See how my right hand is going to go back to the left and whatever's in the middle is switched to the right. So think of it like left, right, left, right, left, right. So whatever is in your left hand, you switch it back to the right. Whatever's in your right hand, you switch it back to the left. Here I am again with the braiding hair, separating it into 3 equal sizes and joining 2 strands in one hand and another strand in another hand. And then I'm going to place it under the larger strand, just like that. And I'm going to keep quiet so you guys can see how I'm placing the braiding hair one more time. Essentially, you're creating a loop. So the hair on my right hand is the smaller strand and the one on the left is the bigger one. And so I take my right hand and I loop it through that hole to my left. And I use my index finger, my thumb, and my middle finger. Here I'm using the expression hair, and I'm gonna redo everything over and in silence. So bye-bye for now. Oh, and don't forget, separate the natural hair into 3 equal sections until you're comfortable with how to just do it automatically. And this is where I just take my hands off from being close to her scalp, because I have gotten the braids to be as tight as I wanted it to be. And now I'm just braiding it down. And remember, each leg of the braid goes in an opposite direction. And another way to achieve neat box braids is to tuck in the natural hair under the braiding hair. Please don't forget to like and thumbs up this video if you find this type of content entertaining and helpful. When you do this, it lets YouTube know that you like this type of content. Definitely comment down below with any thoughts you have or questions. I'll be more than happy to help you out with any concerns that you might have. And let me know if you want to learn the tuck-in method or any other thing you want to know about braids. This is my first time recording a tutorial like this, so I'm definitely trying to figure out different ways to bring more value. So I'm kind of backtracking to the braids that I did with the pre-stretch braiding hair. The reason why it didn't work out, besides the fact that the hair was thinning out in the ends, is because I had to keep adding more hair as I went with this particular model glance braid. I just don't know if it was great for larger box braids. Maybe if the box braids were smaller, it would work fine. But like, because they were thicker, I just have to keep adding hair, as you see me doing over here. But still, I just couldn't get it to how I needed it to be. And yeah, I wouldn't advise it for large box braids, maybe for smaller box braids. So here I'm just gonna do a sped up version of me reattaching the braid to her scalp. That doesn't even make sense, but just me braiding her hair over for those that like it sped up. Even though I am using the model braiding hair for this part of the video, it's just to show you how I attach the braiding hair to her hair. So y'all, this is how we go from this to this. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. You know, let me know what you think.